my name is Faith Hamson, and I did my presentation on the Colorado River crisis. Here's an outline of what we will be looking at in this presentation. I have my thesis statement, and then we will be looking at the Colorado River crisis through a series of questions, which I've provided here. Here's my thesis statement. Many people rely on the Colorado River as their water source, but due to climate change, the water in the Colorado River is decreasing tremendously. And then here are my 3 argumentative statements for my thesis statement. Due to lack of snow, the albedo effect is no longer playing a role, and the snow is not reflecting the sun from the earth. The Colorado River gets most of its water from the snowy peaks. Due to temperatures rising, there has not been snow to melt and flow into the river. From 2000 to 2017, the river lost 16% of the river's water. What is the 1922 Colorado River Compact? Word that California would take all the Colorado River water, representatives from the Colorado River Basin, presided over Herbert Hoover, suggested to divide the river between the states. They figured that the river had an average flow of 15 million feet of acreage, so they divided the river between the upper basin, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico, and the lower basin, Arizona, Nevada, and California, to split the water evenly. This way, the upper basin would have 7.5 million acreage feet, and the lower basin would have 7.5 million acreage feet. The agreement was called the 1922 Colorado River Compact, also known as the Law of the River. When dividing the river in 1922, no one considered the desert evaporation from the sun. Also, the 1944 treaty stating that the U.S. must give Mexico 1.5 million acreage feet in Colorado. In all, the Colorado River uses about 20 million acreage feet annually. On the right-hand side, you can see a picture of the upper and the lower basin. The upper basin being Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, a little bit of New Mexico, and a little bit of Arizona. And then right under the black outline is the lower basin. And you can see how the lower basin goes down into Mexico just a little bit. What is the Colorado River crisis? The Colorado River is in a drought. This drought started due to a few different reasons, which we will discuss more in later slides. One of the main reasons being climate change and human overpopulation. This is a severe crisis because over 40 million people get their water from the Colorado River. Many people also receive their produce from farmers that use this water. Now farmers are worried if they will have enough water for their crops. Many farmers have reduced their crop size or given up on farming. If this drought continues, it will leave many people without water and energy. The Colorado River does a fair share of contributing economically, providing 16 million jobs and $1.4 trillion economically. Here you can see how California is in the dark red, and they're in the exceptional drought, which could be because they have a lot more people. And then you can also see Lake Mead. If you look at Lake Mead, we'll be talking about that more, but that is like in the center, or like in the middle of the drought here in the lower basin. What started the Colorado River crisis? Due to the heating of the earth, we have seen a dramatic loss of water in the Colorado River. Part of the reason is because there has been decrease in snowfall on the Colorado mountains. The Colorado River gets a huge amount of its water from these mountains. Global warming is causing less snow to fall on the mountains, which is then causing less snow to melt into the river. Another reason why the Colorado River is in a drought is because too much of the water is being distributed across the southwestern states. So if you look at the red line here, that is the water usage, and then the blue line being the water supply. So the water usage continues to increase, and then the water supply is more decreasing. And then at the very right-hand corner, they actually lap over each other. What is a compact call? The lower basin is suffering from the crisis more dramatically than the upper basin. If the water continues to decrease in the lower basin, it will result in many of the lower basin states to have to give up more and more of their water. An example of how much the water has actually decreased, Rumman states that Lake Mead, a reservoir of the Colorado River, has not been to its full capacity since 1983. It now sits at 40% of its capacity, or 1,082 feet above sea level. If it drops 7 more feet, the Lake Mead will hit Tier 1. This will result in the lower basin water cutbacks. If the reservoir hits Tier 3, the lower basin states will have to give up more and more of their water. If Lake Mead continues to drop and hits 895 feet, Robin states that the lower basin will force the upper basin to give them some of their water. If they fail to do so, this will result in a compact call, and a compact call has actually never happened before. As you can see, the reservoir provides many people with water and energy. In this graph here, the elevation being on the left, and then horizontally you could see the years, and then as years go on, the elevation decreases, and at 2015 it sits at about 1,080 feet, which is about where it is right now. Here's a picture of Lake Mead from 1985 and then from 2010. So you can see how in this time span, Lake Mead lost a lot of its water, and you can see that by just this picture. What is the albedo effect? Due to the heating of the earth, we have not seen recent snow in the Colorado mountains. The Colorado River gets a huge amount of its water from these mountains. The albedo effect is when snow and ice reflect the sun away from the earth. Because the mountains are losing their snow, the earth is not able to reflect the sunlight. This means the earth is absorbing more solar radiation. Without the snow, the earth will continue to increase in temperature, and the Colorado River will continue to decrease in water. In this diagram, if you look on the left-hand side, there is on the land a red circle, and it says 70% is being absorbed. So 70% of the solar radiation is being absorbed. And then if you look on the right-hand side with the snow, it says 85 to 90% is being reflected off. So a lot of the snow will protect the land from solar radiation. Oops. What can be done to stop this crisis? In order to stop this crisis, we need to stop global warming. As we discussed earlier, global warming is one of the main reasons the Colorado River is in the drought. We need to talk to people about global warming and make people aware of the circumstances, informing people on the negative impact global warming has on the earth, and teaching them what they can do to reduce global warming. We need to promote people and the steps they should take to make a green earth. Here are a few steps to take to make a green earth: using electric cars, carpooling, and reducing water waste. And here are my references. Thank you.